Greetings, everyone. If you get a chance to watch this, if you can't share it, I will change the settings. I am Dr. Calvin Duquesne Ward. I am the District 5 City Council candidate in the city of Rio Rancho, New Mexico, running against the Democratic candidate, Carissa Colbreth, right here in Rio Rancho. Now, I am a Republican. This is a nonpartisan race. So, for those of you who are out there, it's key to know if you vote for your party, who is who. And so I'm doing this broadcast. I won't be before you long, right? But I wanted to do a broadcast because I want to share with you what's going on from my experience in this race. And it is very telling. Now, the first thing I want to do before I get into this, and I will be sharing more information, I want you to look at the bottom of the screen and you're going to see where it says the website there. You can go to electcalvinward.org to volunteer, donate, or find voting sites. And then also early voting is February the 3rd to the 27th, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And also Saturday, February the 28th, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. That time may need to be, that's correct, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. For that time period. So I just want to share with you a little bit of my experience. But before we do that, I want to let you know if there's someone that needs to know more information on the elections, I want you to share this with them, because what's going to happen is I'm going to put this on, and this is live, guys. So this is a live session, putting my video, my phone on Do Not Disturb. What I want to do is share some information with you guys, right? I want to share some information with you. So the first thing I'm going to share with you, if you can see this, I am here on this page here, and you can see here where we have the website for RIo Rancho. I'm sharing this because I want you guys to go here. These are your declared and qualified candidates for this mayoral election. You have Alexander Pyland, who is a Democrat. You have Zachary Caleb Darden, who is a Democrat. You have Michael Meek, who is a Republican. You have Paul Weimer, who is a Republican. You have Elitris, they put her whole government name on here, y'all. Elitris Franchon Owen Smith, who is an independent, and you have Corinne Rios, who is an independent. So these are your 6 mayoral candidates. If you go to your city councilors, right? So these are positions, I believe, every 4 years. So the next one may be in a couple of years, but every 4 years, from what I understand, they are staggered. So this year we have 2, 3, and 5. Now, as you can see, Jeremy Linentine is not contended for, and neither is Bob Tyler, right? So saying that, if you watch this video, we need more people to run for these positions. We need more people to get involved in their city and to run for the district positions. So if you live in District 2 or you live in District 3, and then we get down to District 5, even if you live in District 5, get up and volunteer and get the information and run for these offices. In some cities, these individuals, once elected, stay in these seats because no one challenges them, or they stay in the seats because of the system that exists at that time continues to promote them. If there are things that you don't like in your community going on, what I want you to do is look at the type of government that you have and challenge those seats. And then we go to District 5, which is where I am at. I am a Republican candidate. This is a Democratic candidate. And I am running in this election for this position. And I do want to educate here as well. And this is part of the wowing of my experience running. So our mayor is Paul Weimer. Paul Weimer, from what I understand, excuse me, not Paul Weimer, correction. Our current mayor is Greg Hull, right? Again, our current mayor is Greg Hull, correction. The mayor is not Paul Weimer, it is Greg Hull. But from what I understand, Greg Hull is also running for governor, and Greg Hull runs as a Republican. So it was a shock to me to see that he actually appointed a Democrat who is connected with Emerge, whatever the case, may not be in Emerge, but let's say seen around Emerge. We know what they are doing. Whatever the case, let's just stay on topic. It was just alarming to see that a Republican mayor in a conservative city appointed a Democrat to this position. Now, when I asked people why this happened, The going response that I got as to why a Republican mayor put a Democrat in this seat here and appointed them to the District 5 City Council seat, I got the response that she was the most qualified. So my question is, as a Republican, anyone, as a Republican, especially in the state of New Mexico, seeing the state that New Mexico is in, you want to tell me that a Democrat was better for that position over a Republican? And again, I know it's a nonpartisan position, but this is where we're at, right? This is my take, my commentary. But that's a question I ask you. And so we say, the most qualified. That's odd. What were the factors? That's a whole other question. But let's take it for what it is. So this is what I'm dealing with coming in. Then on top of that, there's some other issues, but let's get into that. But mayor candidates, your district city councilor candidates, and your municipal judge here, which is G. Robert Cook. And so you see the positions that will probably stay the same: Jeremy Lindenthal, District 2, District 3, Bob Tyler, and the municipal judge. And so the race that's being run right now is between Carissa Colbreth, Dr. Colbreth, and myself, Dr. Ward, right? So go here to website, type in, the Rio Rancho mayoral election. It'll take you here. I don't want you to see this. So I want to educate a little bit here. So the second page I want you to go to, and please share this with someone, right, is our city council districts in Rio Rancho. And this is live, so y'all gonna see me mess up, trip up, fumble, whatever. You're gonna get it all because it's live. So this shows you the city council districts in Rio Rancho, New Mexico, right? So what I tell people to do, if you don't know what district you are in, and as you see here, you got District 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, right? And if you don't know what what district you are in, click the interactive map. So let's do that. And when you click the interactive map, let's see if it still comes up for us. The interactive map highlights all of the districts, and this is going slow, right? So let me see what's going on as far as memory. I'll cut this ticker off. Okay. Let's see what that does for the speed here and see what it does, because I am using up a lot of memory here. So if it goes slow, can't help that. I'm gonna cut this off for a moment, but I do want to show you guys. This shows you all of your districts and they're colored. District 5 is here. 4, 6, 3, 2, 1. You can see the sizes. But if I zoom in on this, and let's say I want to go, well, it's on District 3, so let's zoom in there. If I zoom in, you see here, I can see, really, that's what we're doing right now. That's what we're going to do. Okay, this is what it's doing. Let me see something here. Let's zoom out a little bit. Let's close, and let's move the map. Let's move it. Okay, this is way zoomed in. Let me see what I did wrong here, guys. Here we go. There we go. Let's bring it back in. Here we go. And it's not colored anymore. So let's refresh this. There was a purpose on this. I wanted you to see the colors. It shows you the colors for your districts. You can zoom in on your road and you can find out where exactly you live, right? And you can find your district. So, because this is my bandwidth is being used up. So that's what this is. Go to the council district lookup and look up the interactive map on the Rio Rancho website, and you can look up by road, right? Okay, so we got our city council districts. Go to the interactive map and it will work for you. If you already know what district you're in, you can click it and it will zoom in on it for you, right? So that's on the website. Let's close that. So now, March 3rd, we know right now is early voting from now until the 27th, and March the 3rd is the election day. And here again, District 2, 3, District 5, 4-term, mayor's 4-term, and then here again, mayor's 4-term, municipal judge's 4-term. And you can go through here and you can check and see other information here. So election guide, official qualified candidates, right? Education. So let's close that up. Now, what I want to do is share with you some of the candidates for mayor, right? So I'm gonna go over some of the mayoral candidates. So let's close this up and see who pops up first. So this is Corinne Rios, right? So the purpose of this video is for me to share. So this is Corinne Rios. Let's see. I don't know if I finished. Let's see if I can get her website up here. So let's show this. So this is her website, Rios for New Mexico. So for those of you, for informational purposes, go to the website. You want to know more information, there it is. And this is her site, so you can check it out. Public safety as mayor, visit with Corinne, donate, and vote, right? So this is her website, and you can go here. She's an independent candidate who is running for mayor here in Rio Rancho. So let's move over next. Then we have Mike Meek, right? Michael Meek. This is his website. This is Michael Meek's website. So if you are looking, and let's take Corinne's down, if you want to know what's going on these individuals, for purposes of this video and for sharing, what I want to do is give you guys information that you can go to and actually try to attempt to educate people on what's going on, right? So this is Meek's website from what I gather, and this is his site, right? So you can go here and look at this. You can go here and check this out for yourself. I'm not trying to say too much on any, one individual for the most part. He's a Republican candidate as well. Go here, check out the website, guys. Go there and check out the website. So next is Alexander Pyland, right? Alexander Pyland. And so this is Alexandria for Rio Rancho. Now, I will say something here. I sure will. Now, this one, there is mention that she wants to make Rio Rancho a sanctuary city. I encourage people, this is me, I am a Republican. If you love your city, it's because of the conservative values that are a part of it, right? So we definitely, for Calvin, I am definitely not voting for anything that's against the conservative values that makes the city what it is and that has helped the city to become what it is. But for those of you, you can go here. This is her website. Go read and check it out, right? So this is her website. Go read and go check that out. Let's close that and move on quickly. Now we have Paul Weimer. And Paul Weimer is also a Republican. He is also a Republican. This is his website here. And you can go here to the website and you can check out Paul Weimer. He is a district councilor in District 4. Just forgot about that. So he is a current city councilor in District 4, right? And he is a Republican. And then we have Zach Darden, right? So Zach Darden is a Democrat as well, right? So he is a Democrat. I don't know why I thought he was independent, but that's what you get when you don't do your research and take time to see for yourself. I fall into the same trap every now and then. Nothing negative here, but I'm just saying in principle, go research. I thought he was independent. I just found out recently he was a Democrat. Neither here nor there. I just had to get educated on the point of reference. So this is Zach Darden, and let's put his website up for you. And here we go. So you can go to Zach Darden's. I don't know why that one's not showing as, let's do this correctly. There we go. So you can go to Zach Darden's website and you can check out Zach Darden's website, his information. And again, he's a Democrat. So for the mayoral elections, right, we have 6 candidates. 2 are Republican, 2 are Democrats. Michael Meek and Paul Weimer are Republican. Zach Darden and Alexander Pyland are Democrat. And 2 independents, which are Corinne Rios and then Elitris Owens Smith. Those are your mayoral candidates. You can watch this video again. You have, let me take his website off. You have all of the information. Their websites have popped up. You can go and do your research. For those of you that watch this, in the upper corner, it'll say Future Forward. That's a logo that I like to use. Rio Rancho is the city of vision. Someone asked me, you're running on a case of visionary leadership for Rio Rancho. I believe this is a city of vision that's in the, it's connected to the city. When I say we need visionary leadership in the city, this is a crucial time. We've had a long-standing mayor who has served multiple terms who is leaving. I, being in District 5, we have a Democratic council member who is here. District 5 is also bordered by another Democrat council member in District 1, I believe. And then, well, Dapson, I believe that's correct. And, everyone correct me. I stand corrected if there is wrong information that's being put out here. But I have a Democrat bordering District 5. District 5 has a Democrat. And then for the election, we have two Democrats who are now running for mayor, right? Who are in the candidacy. That was not something that just happened, guys. Things just don't just happen in politics. Everything is strategic. In politics, everything is strategic. And so that was part of the reason why I wanted to run. Of course, that in accordance with Ordinance 18, Ms. Colbreth and some other Republicans, it seems, voted for no voter ID. Now, let me make this clear, because this is going to be a lead-in topic into what we call RINOs, Republican in name only, right? And I'll let you decide your definition for that. But I didn't know that was a thing until I started to dig. And then this term was being used. And I said, my God, this makes sense. Republicans in name only. Because if you elect me as a Republican, guys, and you are a Republican, you should not have to question whether I'm going to make a Republican decision on a policy or a law or whatever's on the table, or whether I'm going to make a Democratic decision on that. If voter ID comes across the table of a Republican, if it comes across the table of a Republican and you say you are Republican, then you should be for voter ID. And to be clearer, if I wasn't clear, let me be crystal. There is no way that any Republican on any planet, in any solar system, this side of the Milky Way galaxy should be ever voting against voter ID. Period. You should not have to worry about the elected officials that you put in place and put your public trust in, whether you elect me as a Republican and then I'm making Democratic policy decisions. Voter ID is not a difficult subject. You either are for it or you're not for it. There's no backtracking, right? Moving along, now let's get to the topic of, I have a Democrat in a position that was elected by a mayor who identifies as Republican. So Mayor Greg Hull is the current mayor of Rio Rancho. When I ran for district council, for the city council District 5, I found out that the person I'm running against is a Democrat and was appointed by the mayor. When I inquired as to why this was done, right, I was told it was because she was the most qualified, which is fine. But for a Republican, let's do some situational awareness, because this is not even rocket science. In the state of New Mexico, look at the state of Republicans. And then as a Republican, if I know that, why would I, if Calvin was in the situation or whomever, why would I as a Republican put a Democrat in a position if I could help it? So that made me process and go back and look at some things and question some things. Because now that term, I had someone bring this term up in conversation to me, RINO. And again, I'm not saying that in that particular scenario that Mayor Hull is a RINO, but it's a good lead into my next topic, which is the topic of RINO. RINO, Republican in name only. I said, oh, this is an interesting concept, because it explains all of the confusion that I'm looking at as a Republican candidate running, getting zero support from council members who are currently sitting. I've gotten zero support. I've gotten some rumors spread about me, but I've gotten zero support. We have a council that, if on my last count, I believe is 4 Republicans and 2 Democrats. And I've gotten zero support from anyone on the council, including Paul Weimer, who is currently running for mayor of Rio Rancho as a Republican, including Mayor Greg Hall, who I sent a message to ask for his endorsement. And I have not, you would have thought I had the plague. I haven't heard from him since. It's a where in the world is Carmen Sandiego moment. And we have been in the same building since I've asked for that endorsement. Haven't heard one word. So my perception is that we have Republicans in the city of Rio Rancho who would rather see Democrats in office for some whatever agenda that it is, rather than have Republicans in office. On top of observing where we are as a party in this state. And for me, that is problematic. And then I have to take a step forward and say, well, hold up. Mayor Hall is also running for governor. Now I'm thrice confused, because I said, well, isn't the governor's seat like the senior? So the individual that's Republican running for that seat would be sitting in the most senior, quote unquote, Republican seat in the state. And if you are a mayor and you identify as Republican and you can't endorse a Republican candidate going against a Democratic candidate that you appointed, how does that look? All of this is my experience. How does that look? So why would I want to put someone in a position who can't support Republicans on the ground, boots on the ground, doing the work, right? So that whole scenario is where Calvin is. And that's what I came into in this race. So it's confusing. I don't have Republican support from those that are in office, right? I was in a meeting and, Mayor Weimer had mentioned that he gets support. And I said, I'm glad you're getting support from the council, because no one is supporting me. All right. And people want to know, I do want to comment on this too. We had a forum. And I want to say this, if someone watches this from another city, I'm going to close because I'm going to do more videos. But if you watch this from another city, I want to tell you, I am from Virginia, right? If you study government, debates are the staple of our government here, right? Go research Parliament, research the early processes that took place in American government. Why would I go to a forum against a Democratic candidate who is in an office, who actually knows the intricacies when I say numbers and information? Because come on, guys, we get in elections and we love to spit out numbers, and we're working on this road, and we're working over here, and we're working on this over here. All right, already. If you're in the position, it's part of your job. It is a part of your job. Tell me, what was your specific contribution to the task that you are telling me you are taking credit for? We've done this and we've done this. How did you contribute to that process? Or are you just taking credit for someone else's activities? Huh? What was your contribution to the process? That's what people want to know. And I said that because as a new candidate, it is just asinine for me to ask me to sit with an incumbent one-on-one. The incumbent is in the position, can bring up numbers, information, statistics, and metrics that I'm not privy to, simply because I'm not in the position. And you want me just to share ideas on the city and what I would do with an incumbent who can easily, they have one job, guys. And when you deal with an incumbent, you have one job. They have one job, which is to make the other person seem nonsensical or make them look like they don't know what they're talking about. If they can do that in the public eye, it is very damaging. However, if you have a debate with a candidate, I, as a new candidate, or you, whoever you are, as a new candidate, you get to show the people, can you hold your own? are you qualified, your demeanor, how you communicate, how you respond under duress. You get to show that to the people, and the incumbent gets to, here it goes, they get to be held responsible for everything they said before that people voted on, and they get to be held responsible for what they did or did not do. So I'm convinced that people just don't want to deal with that reality. So I have people telling me, you should have came anytime you're in a position to get publicity. You should have came out. We missed you. No, y'all were banking on a big turnout to have a Republican and a Democrat sit on the same platform and kind of have this discussion. And it was going to be good social media or good TV. And when I said no, now people are saying, Calvin, why didn't you come in? People were disappointed. I do apologize to anyone who may have been from District 5 that came, but let me say this as a lessons learned for those holding forums in the city of Rio Rancho in the future. First of all, if you are holding forums for candidates, number one would be to pick multiple locations that are scattered across the city to give working individuals, single moms, single dads, youth, whoever wants to come out, you have them in multiple places across the city at diverse times. This allows people to say there are 3 forums going on this month, 3 different locations, which one is closer to me, what time is better for me, and the citizens can coordinate that, right? Number 2, if you want candidates to come out, right, what would have been great is to say, hey, Mr. Ward, you are a candidate. We have people who have registered. You have people who want to participate, register. And when they register, have them register by their district, right? So now you can say, hey, Mr. Ward, I know you're a new candidate. We have a forum for you. If it's not going to be a debate and you want to pull me in, we have 20 people who registered from District 5 who will be sitting in the audience. Now that catches my attention. But just to come and share ideas with an incumbent who can easily take them, and there's a history, according to constituents that I talk to, boots on ground, there's a history in Rio Rancho of ideas being stolen from other candidates and being implemented by incumbents. Why would I put myself in that position? If people want to know what I stand for, if they want to talk to me, they can go to my website, they can reach out to me. So it really wasn't a big difference there, right? And so those are my notes for forums going forward. There are many churches here, right? And I'm going to pause and say something on that, because concerning these elections here, right? I know I've mentioned the term RIno in name only, but I have to, for sake of this conversation, mention Christians in name only. Got to make up an acronym for this, because it seems here a lot of people are saying they're Christian and Republican, but are you really? And it's easy to manipulate churches to get votes, especially for a municipal election. You know, not a lot of people are going to turn up to. So if this is the case, how do you rally people for your cause, right? If I can get multiple churches to be on board and get those votes, you get a good majority right there, while we keep the people ignorant of the elections. I cannot tell you how many people I went to, whether I'm in Walgreens, whether I'm in CVS, I'm talking to youth, I'm talking to both young and old, that did not know municipal elections are going on right now. They had no idea that the elections were going on right now, right? This is what's going on. I'm gonna close with this. Rio Rancho is in a place where it does need change. And if you're an individual that uses the term divisive, let me pause and say something there, because I have fellow Republicans that always use the term. I was at a place and I heard the term divisive. We don't need divisiveness. Well, if I'm the only one running on the council and all the Republicans are saying we like it the way it is, we don't want divisiveness, they are subconsciously aiming those comments at me, and I've picked them up. I've heard them loud and clear. And so they're saying that my running for a council seat as supposedly a fellow Republican, is being divisive, because everything likes everything the way that it is, y'all. Rio Rancho, you need to open up your eyes if you are a Republican. You have been duped by a heresy. And if I had to term it, I would connect it. I would call it Hullian heresy. You have been duped by a doctrine that everything is good and well, and that there is nothing wrong. We need to keep everything as is, as if any change is going to be all negative. You can have positive change just like you have positive stress, right? You can have positive change. And you can have visionaries who see bigger visions for Rio Rancho than just to keep bringing in big business, which drives up the price of everything, right? And where are those wage grade jobs? I had someone say people want to come here, but they can't stay here. Where are the jobs that they can go and get that'll help them maintain and stay here? I heard a comment the other day that you have seniors who are almost being kicked out of their apartments or where they live, as well as working wage grade individuals. In this case, it was a teacher because of the rental prices being driven up. We talk about affordable housing. We need fresh and new ideas for these things. It's not always a budget issue. You can hide behind a budget all day long. I've been on teams where we say stuff can't be done because we have a budget. Okay, yes, you do have to stay within the budget, and that works. But if you're going to tell me we're going to stay within a budget, have we done an exhaustive analysis of fraud, waste, and abuse to see have we wasted money and resources in other departments before we increase taxes, before we say no to benefits or no to this or no to that? There is a process. Not saying it's not here or there, not saying it's being done, not being done, but I'm telling you there's a process. And this city, and I hit on, I just said a little bit about the jobs. I said a little bit about the wage grade jobs, which are necessary, right? I had a conversation the other day, and there are some industries that are clear that can be brought here. I'm all for industry coming here, but it needs to be targeted industry that's going to bring in those wage grade jobs. I want to talk a little bit about the water, guys. I keep saying I'm going to end this, but I have to slide these out there. I'm looking at my time. Let's talk about the water. There are those that I've heard all the information on the water and how bad this water is, And then I've heard city officials get up and say, well, the water's not bad. We've done this, we've done that, we've done that. So let me tell you my testimony concerning the water here in Rio Rancho. And apparently I had someone tell me today they bought a home, and a couple of months after buying a home, the water messed up their hot water heater and they had to buy a new one. And they told me, and this was their quote, they said the water on the reservation is better than the water in the city of Rio Rancho. And this is my testimony. I didn't do it on purpose, but I have water delivered to my home, and I was in between, right, those deliveries, and I was like, I said, well, let me try the tap water and drink it for a while. Many of you will see a picture of me with hair, and I had a full beard. I drank Rio Rancho water from the tap for 2 weeks, and it messed up my skin and biochemistry, the chemistry of my skin, so much so I had to cut my hair off. I had to cut my beard off because my skin was tight and dry, and it was causing issues. The pH of my skin, the flakiness of my skin, and my scalp, it just messed it up so much I had to go back, and I stopped. So I've experienced the water here in the city myself. So what I don't want to hear is anyone give me excuses on this water being the best water and we're doing whatever we're doing. Well, if we're doing something about the water, more needs to be done. And that's where we need to reside and stay at. Not continue with excuses that this is what we did. This is what we've done, or this is what we did. No, if the water is still not there yet, there's more to be done. When it comes to police and firemen, there is no one, being a 20-year combat veteran from the United States Army, right? And I did a little bit of law enforcement while I was there. There is nothing that's going to come across my desk, if it came across my desk, that concerned increasing pay. May not be in my sphere, so that's another conversation, but increasing the pay of our fire or benefits of our firemen and of our police officers. People say, well, you don't know all the details. Listen, some things are so simple, you need someone to help you to misunderstand it. I'm going to say that again because this happens in government all the time. Some things are so simple that you need someone to help you misunderstand it. It's not hard to understand these guys put their lives on the line for us. We need them to patrol our neighborhoods. We need increased patrols. We need them here in the city. We don't need them leaving for other jobs. These are just some of the topics, and I'm not running for mayor, but these are topics that affect us all, guys. And that being said, that is my 2 cents on my video here. Please give me some comments, if you will. If you see these videos going live, I see comments here to pop these up. Blessings, God bless. God bless you both. Wonderful. Curtis and Jonathan, I saw the comments. But and as I close, I just want to put this out there, y'all. If you're a Republican, please share this in Rio Rancho. Share this. Republicans in New Mexico need to see this. If the video says it's private, I'm going to check it. This should be on LinkedIn, YouTube, and it should be on Facebook. So you can share it on those platforms, right? Please share this information because Republicans in New Mexico, you need to wake up. You need to wake up. Rio Rancho, come out of the Hullian heresy that everything what Hull's name on it is right. Come off of it. Look at the black and white. Look at what's going on. Do the research. And again, I'm going to leave you with this. Some things are so simple, you need someone to help you misunderstand it. Transparency has multiple definitions when applied to multiple situations. You have to decide what that means for you when you are making your decisions. And I closed the site, but I wanted to go back to the candidates as I close. I shared with you websites from, if you fast forward in this video or rewind, I shared for you the websites on Rio Rancho to check out what district you're in, check out the interactive map. You can zoom in down to the roads. I've shown you the candidates, where to go to see all of the candidates. You have 2 Republican, 2 Democratic, and you have 2 independent. Go check that out. I put their websites up as well. So you can go get that information. And what I will do before I leave is put this back on the screen as well, right? We need to know our voting sites. This will be scrolling at the bottom of the screen right now while I'm talking. My website is up. Go there. You can volunteer, donate. You can find voting sites. You can actually check your voter status there as well. And then the early voting is there as well. And then you have voting that is on election day. What I will do is let's correct that real quickly and put that back up because I want you guys to see that. And then please stay tuned for more information during the election. We have 6, what is this? Today is the 2nd. So we have about, 9 or 10 days, right, for election. March 3rd is election. I just want Republicans of Rio Rancho, open up your eyes and look at all of the information. This is not time to be biased. If you are a Democrat and you see this, listen. If you are in whomever, this is not the time for you to act Democrat. If there was ever a time for you to act like a Republican, it would be this election. And I'm saying that jestingly, but I am also 1000% serious. If you like this city and the conservative values that makes the city what it is, that has helped to make the city what it is, then you would vote conservative. I urge you to vote conservative. For those of you that are in District 5, I am in District 5. I'm running for city council. I could use your vote, and I want your vote. You want to volunteer? Go to the website and volunteer. And the last thing I want to say, we do not need to be a sanctuary city at all, right? We do not need to be a sanctuary city. If police are, if this is true, if officers are leaving the force, if crime is coming up the hill, because we had a winery that was broken into, if crime is coming up the hill into Rio Rancho, how do you think that's going to look with more people coming in, more illegal immigrants coming in, which leads me to ICE, and then our police force being low, right? We see a lot of the cameras that have been placed up. People have comments on the cameras, but how do you think all of that environment is going to affect our city and the quality of life here? And just, people talk about ICE. I'm all for ICE. I am for ICE if ICE knows how to obey the law, right? I am for ICE if they know how to obey the law. If they don't know how to obey the law, they need to exit stage left and keep it moving, right? And for those of you in Rio Rancho who don't believe that, things are happening here, there were 3 crime stories that I was made aware of, where one was a kidnapping. A girl allegedly on the street just got kidnapped and sexually assaulted, and then she was found. There's another gentleman, there's 2 actually, but there's another gentleman that I will talk about who barricaded himself in his home. These are people, multiple arrests, no shows, all of that. And our local, whether it's county, city, I'm going to say county because I believe it was the sheriff's office who's instrumental in catching these individuals. Crime is here, guys, in Rio Rancho. Don't believe the hype. The crime is here. And if you don't want it to increase, you need to process and research on this election, because some stuff is not as I'm not going to say it's being hidden. I want to say it's not as readily available as you think. So again, your definition of transparency and how that applies here. Thank you for tuning in. Please share this with someone. I am Calvin Ward, and enjoy your evening and your afternoon. And thank you for tuning in.